Islam fam, Islam everybody. Peace everybody. Coming at you live. We have a special guest today. We're going to talk about some stuff that's important for everyone to hear. This brother has some. This brother also has some practical applications for the information that he's bringing. So I think this is really important. Everybody needs to tune in and share this. First and foremost, we want to give praise to the Father of the universe, Allah. We want to give thanks and honors to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. We also want to give honors to the forerunner of the Prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We want to give honors to the first Supreme Grand Sheikh appointed by the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Emily Ill. We also want to give honors to the current Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moor LSun Temple of America, D. Bailey L., as well as honors to all of the active Moors out there, all the sheiks, divine ministers, all of the Grand Council members. And we're going to go ahead and get started. We have LSun with us here today. Go ahead, brother. Anything you want to say to us right now? Islam to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, Islam to the Moors. Thank you for allowing me to share this information with my family.
Peace.
Okay. So to begin with, we had a conversation the other day about legal status in FEMA camps.
Exactly.
You told me it doesn't matter about the status. Well, I'm about to pull up a record because I broke my flash drive, but I remember some of them, which states otherwise. Give me a second.
All right. Cool. We here. Peace to everybody in the chat. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the comments or type them right there in the chat. And while the brother's getting his stuff, just want to encourage everybody to hit the like button and make sure you share this. It's cool. Like I said, this brother's going to share some info and some practical applications that everybody could do. So, you know, definitely you want to share this and help spread this information. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and shut up right now.
All right. It's taking quite a while for some reason. There's some problems. People seem to have been interfering with my work many times. You'd be amazed. Last night, actually, someone hacked my computer, entire drive. I had to restart some things.
Yeah.
Gather from my phone. About to come up right now, as you can see, is FM 319.40 military police internment / resettlement operation. This will come along with, of course, equity, etc. So here are the table of contents, the different sections of the manual. As you can see, far into this, because it would take up way too much time. But to show you guys how legal status
Hang on one second. It's some feedback.
On any scale.
Hang on one second. It's some feedback. So you're cutting in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead and start back because you were breaking up.
Okay, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
better.
was the legal status is crucial. Legal status is absolute. As you can see, some of the terms here: combat zone, enemy prisoner of war, CI, retained person, other detainee, DC, etc. Um, so we're going to get into really quickly on this. I just want to show people the importance of legal status and proclaiming and declaring your nationality real quick. Okay. Now, right here, it says the following persons are treated as enemy prisoners of war, right? We're going to skip to right here. A person belonging to or having belonged to an armed force of a country occupied by the U.S. if the U.S. considers it necessary by reason of such allegiance to intern him, even though he may have been originally liberated from enemy prisoner of war status by the U.S. while hostilities were going on outside the occupied territory. Particular application is made to a person who has made an unsuccessful attempt to join an armed force that is engaged in combat or who has failed to comply with a summons for internment. Now, very next section, 1 through 6. Captured enemy personnel are presumed to be enemy prisoners of war immediately upon capture if the circumstances are unmistakable, armed, uninformed enemy. If questions arise as to whether captured personnel belong in the enemy prisoner of war category, they receive the same treatment as enemy prisoners of war until their what? Status is determined by a competent military tribunal according to AR 190-8. And you can go get this PDF online.
Can I get you to pause right there real quick? Did you say
Yeah,
that I said that the status doesn't matter? Because I don't remember saying that.
absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I'm saying
It
did
absolutely.
it, if first did you say that I told you this status doesn't matter, that everybody pretty much in the same boat, or no?
Oh no. I
Okay.
was saying status matters. I've heard
Okay.
some people say, you remember when we talked and you said some brother said he doesn't think it will matter.
Mm-hmm.
It all boils down to it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear you correctly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. But they not only said that once, it'll be in here again. Right here. It's more clear here. 1 through 10. A person in the custody of U.S. Armed Forces who has not been classified as an enemy prisoner of war, Article 4, GPW, and RP, Article 33, GPW, or a CI, Article 78, GC, is treated as an enemy prisoner of war until a what? Legal status is ascertained by competent authority. This is a FEMA count PDF, by the way. Okay. And here are the different right here. And as you can see, stateless person. A stateless person is a civilian who has been denationalized, whose country of origin cannot be determined, or who cannot establish his right to nationality claim. Right there.
Wow. Can you pause right there too? Like right there on that same page, it says refugee, and what did they call our people in Louisiana? During Katrina,
Exactly.
right?
Yep. Refugee.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
they sent a lot of our people to Memphis and Houston, and they were calling them refugees
Yeah.
right there. So people who are new to this information, you see that this isn't a game, right? I mean, they
Right.
did it right out there in the open, on the, in the regular mainstream media, referring to black people, African Americans as refugees, and that was crazy. They didn't give any explanation for it either.
Nope. But let's go into that definition. Refugee. The Geneva Convention relative to the status of refugees, 1951, states that a refugee is a person who, quote unquote, owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political union, is outside the country of his nationality, and is unable to, or owing to such fear, is unwilling to avail himself of the protection of that country.
Wow.
Unquote. Right there in your face.
Wow.
Then you'll have the trolls say it doesn't matter. They're lying.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
They're always lying. But you could go further into it, and they'll emphasize over again status deeper into the document. This is why recommend people read this. I did. Also, family, please get a fez, because when things go down, you will be immediately recognized as Moorish American as opposed to quote unquote black, because it's only fair to assume that most of our people believe they're black, because most of our people do believe they're black. Okay. Here's Pope Francis declaring we will be under protection. By the way, Pope Francis, the ruler of the world, even though Rome is being displaced right now. Okay. I want to come up here really quickly.
Take your time.
Okay. All right. Here it is right here. All birthright state citizens of the United States of America, major, are specifically enjoined from engaging in any activity contrary to the health, welfare, safety, and benefit of their fellow state citizens, which means Americans, and all will otherwise be recognized as criminals regardless of what uniforms they wear or what authorities they pretend to have. If corporate quote unquote president unquote Obama should order any member of the quote unquote US military or any armed quote unquote agency personnel, BATF, IRS, NSA, FEMA, etc., to open fire upon American state citizens, it will be a war crime against non-combatant civilians, and it will be immediately recognized as such throughout the world. Right there. But we're going to go further. Any state citizen who is forced to open fire on federally or federal quote unquote state or quote unquote state, giving you the different jurisdictions, funded personnel in defense of life or property will be recognized as a non-combatant civilian without exception, which means regardless, held harmless and supported by all members of the American Armed Forces of the United States of America Major and all American state militias. Any state citizen so imposed upon by those in his or her employment or hired by those in his or her employment in any capacity whatsoever, including quote unquote elected, which means they're not elected, officials, will be entitled to full reparations in the amount of 5 million United States dollars, or the equivalent at the time of the damage incurred for every death, 2.5 million United States dollars, or the equivalent at the time of the damage for every permanent disability. They shall also be owed full reparations for all property damage incurred and up to 80 times compensatory damages at the discretion of a jury of their peers. Isn't this exactly what we've been saying?
Exactly. What's the name of this document?
Let's go to the top.
All right.
right there. First, June 10th, 2014. Issued to all members of the domestic police forces, U.S. Marshal Service, the Provost Marshal, members of the American Bar Association, and the American Armed Services. This comes from the Pope's attorney, Anna von Ritzinger, um, to Barack Hussein Obama. All right. Now, here's another one right here. I just, last night, I found this one extremely interesting. Look right here. Okay. It says, the Lord as Purusha, the body of Christ, quote unquote, we the people, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, our living Queen, and Her Majesty's loyal subjects versus, quote unquote, Crown Temple, unquote, operating United Kingdom PLC, United Nations, and all its corporate instrumentalities. Merciful remedy for treason. Leviticus 16:7-22 and Matthew 22:21. The living men known as quote unquote HRH Prince Charles and quote unquote fourth Baron Rothschild as a former Caesar. Now, who's the fourth Baron Rothschild? Jacob Rothschild. All right.
All right.
Now, in this one, all right, used in any interchange as well. I'd like to share a story I had really quickly with policemen who are not officers. I didn't have my nationality card or anything. Recently, they had, said I was quote unquote driving, blah, blah, blah. So I was kidnapped, what people would say arrested. I was kidnapped. I was taken to the police station or whatever. Then they were saying, DeAndre Williams, blah. Anyways, they were interrogating me, seemingly. I said not one word. I just asked for the sheriff. The sheriff comes in and he was like, "What do you think you're doing?" And all I said to him was, "You do know they never read me my Miranda rights, correct?" He looked at me. He looked at me. He walked out. It took him about 30 minutes, but he came back in, let me go. It was that easy.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing many times when people try and defend their rights, they're trying to argue with policemen. That's not how you do it. As nobles, we're supposed to act as foreign dignitaries, which we are. We're supposed to act with a sense of stability. We look unstable arguing with these people. And then of course they'll use that footage on the big screen, detracting our people, talking about they believe they're outside the law, which is really complicated if people would just read sometimes. Okay. But anyways,
so I just wanted to interject, like people that are sharing videos like that where they're arguing with the policy officers, police officers, where they're doing these types of things, they don't even realize, or maybe they do, that they're giving, the movement potentially a black eye, that they're making other people see it, as the opposite of what the prophet was telling people, not to be, causing confusion. And so, that, giving them ammo, because they're going back and they're fixing, whatever maneuvers they need to do to deal with people. So that, created this whole paper identity, paper terrorist thing. There was this document from the FBI in North Carolina where they're going on and they're listing all these different Moorish groups, and it's like, they're completely like lumping it in with that whole sovereign citizen thing. And it's, you know, it's sad because people
Yes.
don't even know. Like, as soon as you start, you know, saying this, you're going under that category, even if you're not even on that, you know. So it's like people don't
Yes.
even realize you're creating a profile for yourself. Go ahead.
Like you were saying, the people are basically proving they're just incompetent, really. Also, Prophet Nabi Ali told us to speak with an intelligible tone. You know, there's no reason for us to argue with him.
Islam.
You know, I know we're excited, but we need to calm down some. Because although we're emotional about things, they're not. It's just another day of business for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, anyways, um, here's some more information. If required to take field position, the local commanders shall make every effort to communicate the basis of their authority and the reasons for their presence on American state soil to ensure a prompt cessation of hostilities and a widespread understanding of the usurpations and acts of fraud which have led to any conflict. All parties must be brought to understand the nature of the federal government, the limitations of its authority, and their own obligation to act in favor of the American states of the Union, which is delegation of authority order. The Grand Army of the Republic shall continue to operate under General Order 100, known as the Weaver Code, extant from the pen of the last Republic President, Abraham Lincoln, who was the 24th, not the 16th. No orders, executive or otherwise, issued by Barack H. Obama pretending authority on the land of the American states while operating as quote unquote President of the United States Corporation, nor as the quote unquote President of the United States of America, minor, are owed any performance by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Ham, or any ordinary. All plainly stated grants of contractual authority evident in the Constitution for the United States of America remain in place, subject to good faith performance of the accompanying obligations and treaties. Also, more as we should keep this in mind, all of this stuff you'll see people try and hold the Europeans to, like UCCs, right? Um, they're not obligated to honor anything except the Constitution.
Yeah.
You know, also what's interesting about UCCs, even though I don't awful amount about them, however, I do to claim anything, you must be holding due course. I do know that much. And if you didn't create that instrument, if you can't produce the original, you're never ever going to make a lawful claim as holding in due course. You know, it's obvious. I had someone, because I was asking a question about getting a nationality card a while ago, start talking to me about UCCs. You know, it was so amazing. Um, you know, Noble Ali said, "Be careful." You know, but anyways, I want to move here. All right, equally, members in cities for climate protection campaign participants, December 2006. Now, anytime, guys, when you're seeing movies and you hear the words like resilience, green, recycle, revamp, um, you know, even in the Simpsons movie that had come out a while ago, Grandpa was going crazy in the church and he was saying, EPA, 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 talking about the Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah.
Where you're seeing, also, I want to pull this up too, because most people don't know this. Really quickly. This is on, I believe, the White House's website. You have to do a little bit digging, but Basically, China has eminent domain over all U.S. property. Most people don't know that, but that's very true. This guy here um, is talking about it a little bit, as you can see. But China owns all U.S. property. Okay, keep that in mind while we go into these documents. So note that anything that, even though many times um, there are rogue operations, nothing goes down without China's approval. Okay. Um, China also happens to be very, very, very advanced in technology. Um, Being that I'm a computer coder, I know just how interesting technology is. In fact, I was around one of my professors the other day, and we were doing a simple coding operation. And for people who want to learn how to code, I could send you to a friend of mine. He has an online thing going on, and it's free, totally and completely free.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, um, basically we were doing some coding, and actually the computers were turned off. We come back in, the computers happened to be on. Not only were they on, they were sharing data with one another. These are computers sharing data with one another, communicating. That was very interesting to me. And he even um, tried to shut it down for the first 3 times, and it wouldn't even work. You know,
Yeah.
that was really amazing for me to see that. But anyways, to this here, all right, and I'm going to pull up fifth generation cellular towers. All of this stuff is connected, even though likely all over the place. This stuff is connected because as Moorish Americans, we're the only ones who can make a lawful claim of anything to have these things removed away from us because this is our land. And as you can see, Pope Francis has already said, um, you know, injured in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it should be considered as an act of war on the American states and the American state citizens. So this is our land together because things are taking place very quickly.
Can I pause right there real quick? So there you have it for people who's asking, where's our army? Where's
Yep.
our military? That's it right there.
Yep. Yep. Also, too, I want to tell people about another experience I had. Anytime you have a problem with anybody talking about their law enforcement, make sure you communicate with the nearest archbishop of that area. I'm thankful for Brother Taj Tariq Bey for telling us that. That is very important. I actually did that. The archbishop of the area at the time was actually a Moor, though. Um, he was released or whatever. But I
Is that
communicated
Bishop
with the
G.
archbishop.
Patterson?
Huh?
Is that G.E. Patterson? Bishop G.E. Patterson?
Yeah, Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I communicated with the archbishop. You know what he told me?
What's
He was
that?
like, it's very interesting to see a noble in here
Wow.
when I was in the church. He was like, it's very interesting. Uh, we had a conversation, but that was just, amazing to me. He called me a noble,
Yeah.
so that means they know exactly what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
not stupid.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
But
I'm glad
here's
you're
an
about to
agenda
go
right
in
here.
on the 5G too, because this is what's happening all around us, right? Everything's making a switch to 5G.
Exactly.
People have no
Now,
idea what's going on.
Yes. Also, 6G is really already perfected. Um, 7G is in the process of being developed. And I just want to show people this here, Agenda 2063, the Africa we want.
Wow.
All right, to show you they're not playing.
What's the source on that? That right there.
This is a PDF. You could type it in. It's on United Nations website. Actually, come from the United Nations website.
Oh, so you're saying this is from the UN?
Yes, they have tons of websites. All
Mm-hmm.
right, even this here. Let me show you. Global Vaccine Action Plan, 2011 to 2020. All right, this is their plan to have majority of the world's population vaccinated. Okay.
All
Of
right.
course, we know vaccines are in no way good for our health.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Man, I want to see what's
So
on the agenda for Africa 2063.
yeah, I actually had one, but I told you I broke it like right before the show, which is really interesting. A plan is actually developed for 2095. You know,
Uh-huh.
so while we're being sort of lackadaisical, they're not playing. As you can see, here are the table of contents, right? Forward, Global Vaccine Action Plan, right? Introduction. Now this part here to show you. All right. Immunization is and should be recognized as a core component of the human right to health and an individual immunity and governmental responsibility. Vaccination prevents an estimated 2.5 million deaths each year. Protected from the threat of vaccine preventable diseases, immunized children have the opportunity to thrive and a better chance of realizing their full potential. These advantages are further increased by vaccination in adolescence and adulthood. As part of a comprehensive package of interventions for disease prevention and control, vaccines and immunization are an essential investment in a country's, indeed, in the world's future. Right now, also, as you can see, they plan to have this done by 2020. Mothers fighting people, so that their children won't get vaccinated. And with the parents fighting the children still become vaccinated. Also because they're wards of the state, which means their property.
Yeah.
Many times the parents get married and don't even know the Pope claims the eggs, of the uterus, so the children are born in sin. Really interesting.
They
um,
get you every time when they give you those forms for everybody out there with children. What do they
yes,
have on there? It says legal guardian,
yes,
right? Legal guardian. Like, what is it? Why are you
custodian.
signing this?
Yes, thing how people don't even pay attention to custodian. You're not the
Yeah.
baby's parent, really. You're a custodian. They'll even tell you, parentis patre. They'll even tell you, you're not the parent of your child. You're simply a custodian. You
Uh-huh.
know, it's amazing how people just all that stuff just flies right over people's head. All right. But anyways, we're going to continue right now. I'm kind of all over the place. Forgive me for that. I plan to be more organized because I had things set up on my flash drive. But here are some of the codes I was able to remember. I mean, documents I was able to remember.
All right.
Uh, okay. Here is the Biometrics Identity Agency. Okay. This is where they'll have microchips inside of people very soon. This is another reason why people should really, at all costs, avoid vaccinations, because they're going to put microchips inside of vaccines pretty soon. Okay. Also, I had to explain something very interesting, which I already told you, to one of my family members, because I was trying to tell them about the great protection of aluminum, which could be used for a whole host of things. In fact, I had hurt my knee because I ran myself against my dresser. I wrapped some aluminum foil on it for about an hour, and inflammation was gone. You know, but anyways,
If any of this sounds like with the microchips, if any of that sounds far fetched, all you have to do is look up nanoparticles, because this is very real and this technology is old by now, and so just look it up. All right.
Yeah, this technology is ancient. Very ancient. Okay. Let's go to this right quick, and then I'm going to be more consistent with the points I'm trying to make, because I just want people to be urgent about things and not be so passive. All right. Recently, I'm going to pull it up so everyone can see. Recently, I believe December 13th, a proclamation was put out. No, a document was released, which talks about we need to prepare for emergency in the very near future, because they're planning on electricity being down for at least 2 months, but possibly 6 months or more. I know I just downloaded it.
What's that talking about? Like an EMP going off or something like that?
They're talking about terrorists will do it. We need to develop local community sustainability, which is something else you should look out for. Anytime you hear the word sustainability, know they're talking about depopulation all the time. Sustainability, global, world, green, even recycle, because people don't know actually what they do many times with recycling projects is they'll take the recycled material and make coffins out of it.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that too. Let's see. I'm so unorganized right now. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's look at this.
We have some sheiks in here in the chat. Everybody's pretty much in alignment. The brother Neil Bay said we need skilled workers studying and helping this divine and national movement on all levels, not just temple meetings. Thanks again. Yeah, so pretty much everybody's in alignment and understands, what's going on.
They'll work, because I heard somebody call over the intercom Abdullah Day. So I was like, Abdullah Day. When I went on lunch, I made it my effort to find him as soon as possible, but I never found him. Which was I think he's from Africa. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I'm really bad, but I'm gonna show this to people. All right. Right here. American Negroes, right here. American Negroes have in the past been considered quote unquote U.S. citizens, unquote, because that is the only quote unquote citizenship, unquote, they were ever granted after the Civil War. A grave error of justice that resulted in them only having quote unquote civil rights, unquote, which are privileges granted by the quote-unquote U.S. Congress instead of the quote-unquote natural and unalienable rights, unquote, they are naturally heir to. Telling you right there, we're already home. They were also claimed as chattel back in the depths of the United States of America Incorporated, despite both national and international prohibitions abolishing slavery and peonage. A prompt correction is available from the organic states, and by proclamation of these organic states, right there, proclaim your nationality. Proclamation of these organic states. They are granted full and immediately recognizable status as quote unquote American nationals. CMBAs AA 222141 hold all the quote unquote natural and unalienable rights of any other organic state citizen, no matter which geographically defined state they may inhabit on the land. The only exceptions are those unfortunates born within the borders of the insular states, District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, etc., who must self-declare under the Article 15 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay? I want to stay here. It has
And what document is that you're reading? Yeah, can
okay.
you name that so that people can follow along?
All right. This is same document, General Civil Orders, June 10th, 2014.
Okay.
Right. I had one where the Pope was even declaring there is no God but Allah, which was really fascinating.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm sure I have it. I'm very sure I have that one. I'm sure I'll take to cover that one. It was February 3rd. There it is. February 3rd. Right. And all of these come from Pope Francis, who is the owner of the Roman Curia. The Roman Curia encompasses all corporations on the planet Earth. You know. All right. Okay. All right. As you can see, some of this right here. We're going to skip down into it. All right. In God, Pope Francis, and the world. Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to start here. Notice of the motu proprio issued by Pope Francis, acting as trustee of the Global Estate Trust on July 11, 2013, has been presented to all directly interested parties in Alaska via ancient edict of notice. Notice to principals is notice to agents, and notice to agents is notice to principals. The United States of America Minor and the Federal Reserve Banks, DBA, the United States of America Incorporated, and the United Nations City-State and its agency, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, DBA, United States Incorporated, and its State of Alaska franchise are commanded and required under contract to the Global Estate Trust to perform according to the Constitution for the United States of America and to cease and desist action against the American people and the organic American states, including Alaskans, and the Alaska state created by the Alaska Statehood Compact. We're showing you again we have protection. The Alaska Bar Association, its members, various court administrators, and the Alaska Judicial Council have been similarly notified in order to cease and desist practices, presumptions, and procedures which serve to defraud living Americans and lay false claims against their private property assets under pretense of war and color of law. The entities addressed under final notice of commercial and administrative default dated February 3rd, 2014 are all competent to recognize their culpability in failure to perform under commercial service contract, failure to honor the national and state trust indentures, and failure to provide full and free disclosure of contracts solicited by the named governmental services corporations and agencies cited for default. All right, we're going to stay here. All such American nationals who are inhabitants of the land and their estates are additionally protected by treaty and national trust, which means you must have a nationality, and are owed safe conduct for themselves and their commercial vessels on the high seas and navigable inland waterways. For military tribunal purposes, all American nationals, American quote-unquote persons, and commercial vessels are non-combatant civilian third parties. All right. Now this here, everybody should look out for this. High-speed rail in America. If this goes, just know they're going to do an attack with a direct energy weapon on your city. All right. If this goes anywhere through the state. Look this up. High-speed rail in America. In fact, what happened over there in Chicago, California territory, in Paradise, where you seeing the destruction of all the foliage, the houses and stuff, it was in direct and exact correlation with the high-speed railway. So please research high-speed rail in America. All right, be sure to gather everything you need about things that are coming through, because I know for sure high-speed rail will be in sea territory pretty soon. So they're probably going to use an earthquake or something, because they did it in eastern Tennessee territory. So beware of that. All right. Here. Scientific Committee on Emerging and Newly Identified Health Risks. Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety. Scientific Committee on Health and Environmental Risks. All right. We're going to skip down. It's a PDF here from the European Commission website, or it's on Google as well. Okay. You were talking about nanomaterials. That's why I want to come here. Nanomaterials. Very little is known to characterize the fate and exposure of these materials. However, research, including UE projects, is going on. It's ongoing. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull up a cross-reference point right here, because I want you guys to see this is absolutely on purpose. They're not stupid. NASA war plan right here. Now, in this, they're specifically talking about transhumanism, how humans are too feeble, too corrupt, and too weak to handle it. Wow. All right. Now, here are some of the key points right here. Okay. Page 50. Effects of low power microwaves. U period S period Army. SRI. Walter B.
1 second, real quick. Let me pause you right there. Okay, what's that document? Like, where's that supposed to be coming from?
Actually, at one point on the NASA website.
So this is supposed to be an internal document for NASA employees, or what?
Yes, it was coming through NASA, but you already know, NASA is Nazi, and they're all interconnected. They're all doing the same stuff. Yeah. And it's a circa 2025. Okay. So this is also another reason why they need cell towers all over the place, which will be about 850 feet apart away from each other. And here are some of the cell towers I'm aware of in my area. Right, as you can see, Here's some of the cell towers that are absolutely in my area. Okay. I also want to present this to people because, as Moorish Americans, we need to really come together more now than ever. Because I don't have many of the blatant documents I had at first. Like this one. This one is extremely blatant. Um, but guys, they're not playing with us, especially with us being the heirs. We need to immediately um, um, really enforce unity um, and make lawful claims so that we could at least have some sort of remedy to safety on a large scale. Not just with different operations, dealing with like remedies like tinfoil, copper, plants, etc. But let's go to page 55. My website. Okay, these are just different PowerPoints. Okay, what is apparently quote unquote legal? Microwave slash radio frequency anti-functional and anti-personnel weaponry. So right there, they're telling you they're going to destabilize people by making them anti-functional. Okay, chemical anti-functional weaponry. All right, chemical quote unquote psychological effects via sensory organs weaponry, e.g., smell. Chemical personnel incapacitation weaponry, quote unquote, non warfare, hostage slash terrorism only. Cyber, acoustic weaponry, mechanical microdust.
Wow.
Okay. I would urge people, if you have microwaves, please don't use those things because there are protection from the radio frequency waves that will emit from those things at all. Because literally, if you take apart the screen from the microwave, there's no protection, and that screen is so thin, it's ridiculous. You know, for me, I'm only 19 years old, so I still um, domicile with my parents, and they happen to use the microwave a lot. But, however, I use copper as earrings. I put aluminum foil on the back of things. If you have like skull caps, right, you could put aluminum foil within the flap, which will protect you. And I'm going to have Brother Sharif show you how electromagnetic frequency waves are not going through copper, period. I mean, excuse me, aluminum foil, period. And you can get that at the store for about 2 notes. All right. But increasing limitations slash downsides. Large, heavy, tender, slow, physically, mentally, require logistic trains, I period, E period. Humans have rapidly decreasing to negative quote unquote value added, you know, which is amazing because they're hypocrites. They actually induce this stuff upon humanity. All right. Let's skip down to 95. Okay. Fundamental military issues slash metrics. Affordability, quote unquote, warfare on the cheap. Survivability, quote unquote, can see everything, anything you can see, you can kill. Effectiveness, lethality of precision and volumetric weaponry, which is electromagnetic frequencies. I period E period simultaneous ongoing revolutions in all three of the major warfare metrics. All right. All right. Typical scenario. quote unquote takedown of U.S. by 10 people and 10 million Federal Reserve banks. Binary bio via imported vitamins slash clothing, etc. Food supply. Okay. Terabio, G. Aflatoxin, which is very nasty. IW, quote unquote usual. Plus physical against key nodes such as railroads take down the economy. High-speed railroads. Selective anti-personnel radio frequency slash microwave towers. There you go, 5G. Water supply contamination via intercontinental UAVs accompanied by serious quote unquote site war. And of course, that's evident because you still have people who absolutely believe people are identified by skin complexion. Okay. Okay. Quote unquote circa 2025. Machines as creative slash quote unquote smart as humans, quote unquote robotics, the quote unquote norm. Zeroth order war stopper, binary bio into nations. And here you could find a PDF on this. Next level of concern, ubiquitous slash cheap micro to nano everything. Sensors, munitions, weapons, swarms slash hordes, battlefield attrition, CNN syndrome forces U.S. Army to look slash act like SOCOM, which is telling you right there, Donald Trump is a liar when he says CNN is fake news. He ain't lying.
You know, they've been at this for a while. Like, my granddad would tell me how, like in Tennessee, my great granddad had a farm, and like he witnessed them starting to force all the farmers to use the seeds that the government had. They were getting them off of the organic, or actual. I don't even want to use that word organic. They're getting them away from using real actual seeds, and starting to force them to do all types of stuff just to be able to maintain. So, it's wild. Like, this has been in the works for a long time.
Yep. Now, also, too, I want to very quickly display this because I forgot to use this with this agenda here. I mean, this internment resettlement operation here, because this talks about the detention of American citizens as enemy combatants. All right. Now, here's why people should read, because most people will see that title and say, see, they're taking down everyone. But that's not true. All right. As soon as you start reading, you'll see what? Summary. The Supreme Court in 2004 issued 3 decisions related to the detention of quote unquote enemy combatants, including 2 that deal with U.S. citizens in military custody on American soil. So they're making the distinction right there. There's a distinction. Okay. We're going to skip down here. The decisions affirm the president's power to detain enemy combatants, including those who are U.S. citizens. People don't know all U.S. citizens are considered enemy combatants, as part of the necessary force authorized by Congress after the Terrorist Act of September 11, 2001, which is what they started. However, the court appears to have limited the scope of individuals who may be treated as enemy combatants pursuant to that authority, and clarified that such detainees have some due process under the U.S. Constitution. This report, which will be updated as necessary, analyzes the authority to detain American citizens who are suspected of being members, agents, or associates of Al Qaeda, Taliban, and possibly other terrorist organizations as enemy combatants. All right, but you see they're using, in one instance, American in harmony with U.S. citizen, even though it doesn't go together. And then in other instances, they'll make a clear distinction. as you can see here, they're still talking about U.S. citizens. So here's another reason why people need to be very clear about declaring your nationality. And as you can see, the Pope said, proclaim your organic state, which means proclaim your nationality. Okay. So that shows you right there. They're talking about detaining U.S. citizens. And you can find this on Google. It's a PDF. You could type that in or go on this website here. They have many PDFs on this website here. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Future quote unquote warfare. Defense against the then year multitudinous, excuse me, I said that hard wrong. Multitudinous, conventional and unconventional delivery methods for volumetric and precision munitions, and essentially neither doable nor affordable. They're being very blatant with you. Suggested national defense approaches. All right. War technology, intel, diplomacy, SOCOM for detection, interdiction, deflection, the quote unquote three delivery phases, causes of war, motivational and decision process, design and construction, test, work and advertise a really effective retribution to deter delivery. All right. And as you can see, this is absolutely a warfare document. All right. War between mass armies weighed down with borrowed equipment has become a third world sport. The advanced world, too vulnerable to survive a war of attrition or mass destruction, must learn to conduct its affairs by the rapier, by the threat or use of small specialized forces exploiting high tempo and strategic surprise. Okay. Global problems slash quote unquote solutions. This is the last one. Serious problems: energy, water, food, land, population growth, wealth generation, pollution slash warming. Killer app solutions. Okay. Motivational slash inexpensive, well-based, asynchronous, quote unquote, distance learning. Biomass slash food via seawater irrigation in current quote unquote wastelands. So right there, they're telling you when they're delivering all this stuff to third world countries, they're not in it to help them. They're trying to kill them. All right. I have to pull up some more stuff. All right. Here, quote unquote, our global neighborhood. Okay. And then after this, we're going to very quickly get into a few remedies that people could use. And Brother Sharif is going to display something that's really simple, inexpensive, and can be done by most people. Because sadly, Brother Sharif, my parents just told me I need to go um, get one of my siblings. But we're going to be in this joint until about um, 35. Is that cool? And then I could probably finish it. I'll be more organized. Uh, you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Are you on mute?
Yeah, I was on mute. I heard you.
Okay. All right. Okay. A summary analysis by Henry Lamb. All right. This was completed 1995. Right. This talks about things low scale. All right. Um, let's see. All right. Now here's a climate action plan for my area here. To know exactly what's going on or what might take place um, in your area, climate action planning, then type your city after it. All right. Um, this would give you a pretty nice view of what will most likely take place. This is how I was able to conclude that more than likely um, an earthquake will be sent our way, followed by an EMP attack. All right, and I'm going to click on this. This is talking about climate action planning. And in the document, they're going to tell you blatantly this stuff is formulated of a quote unquote higher class. They're going to tell you that evidently. It's no secret.
Can you
Um,
tell the name? Can you tell the name of the PDF you were reading first before this one?
uh, Climate action planning. Oh, before climate action planning?
Yeah, the one right before that. What was the name of it?
Okay. It is Agenda Global Neighborhood. Okay. Or here, um, dealing with globalization of extermination, really.
All
Okay.
right.
Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050, Asian, Agenda 2060, Agenda Our Neighborhood, PDF attained on Google. This is the California high-speed train project right here. So if anybody wants to see what happened in California, why it happened, look at this document right here, and you will find it is absolutely no coincidence. Okay. Cities and climate change, an urgent agenda. When you hear agenda, nothing population. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Thanks for clarifying that.
yeah. Anytime you hear agenda, they're talking about depopulation. Okay. EMS agenda, something else too. Um, Here's another one. Global Future 2045.
You were on
Okay.
that document where you were talking about, I think, the earthquake, something like that, like the plan in
Oh yeah.
Memphis. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me get on that real quick. Because they actually in the California document, they even tell the people that wildfires going for the next 15, 20, 25 years. So they're going to always let you know what they're doing. They're never not going to let you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right. It's not this one. Go back to it. Do you think we could continue this tomorrow? Because I'm really short on time.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
apologize.
We're just not tomorrow. I'm gonna be speaking with the author Peter Moon. We could do this. We could just run this back later in the week. You know, if not this week, then we'll just do it a week from now. Okay? Maybe do it a
Okay.
little earlier.
Yeah, really quickly, could you demonstrate to the people with two phones in the air?
Sure. All right. Hang on a second. This is temporary, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
All right. Where's the other phone?
right here.
All right. Call one of the phones really quickly.
All right.
All right. Is it calling?
It's about to.
All right. When it does, just show it to the screen so people can see it's working.
All right.
Now, the phone you just called, wrap it in aluminum foil.
All right. Keep it ringing.
Yeah.
All right.
You can turn it off or whatever.
Now what?
All right. End the call and call it again.
All right. Call it right back.
Yeah, call it.
All right. It's ringing.
Oh, that phone is ringing?
Yeah. Does this affect it?
Let's see.
That right there. This diode.
What is that?
It's a diode. It cancels out the EMF waves.
Oh. Oh, that's clever, man.
Yeah.
That's clever. Where'd you get that from?
Amazon. We got them on everything: computers, tablets, phones.
Wow.
You can get a little 6-pack of these.
Wow. How much is that?
It's about $25 for a pack of 6. Yeah. Yeah, I can't even get this case out, but I got it on here too.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you could just, yeah, that definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because basically, but people could look it up for themselves. I'll just explain it really quickly. We could get it. I'll be more organized the next go around.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what will happen is when you apply aluminum foil to a cellular device, what it does is it will block all radio transmissions for the most part. Normally, what I do is I double wrap the phone to show people very clearly.
Yeah.
I've never single wrapped it before, but I was pretty sure it would work. This allows communication with cell towers very quickly, very easily, and very efficiently. Copper is something else that people should really invest in until we, as Moorish Americans, get ourselves together and make the claims that we need to make at World Court. And not only at World Court, but we need to focus in on talking to the people who are really behind this, like the archbishops, like people who are very close with the Pope. Address the bankers, because we all know politicians are simply shields in the first place. But anyways, copper is very good for disallowing electromagnetic radiation poisoning.
Okay.
I wear copper earrings. There you go. I wear copper earrings. Putting aluminum foil in your shoes on your feet is the equivalent of almost earthing. So you're actually detoxing as you walk without even touching the ground.
Okay.
Copper tape has that same effect, but you have to tape it on the inside of the shoe and the outside. Foliage. There are many types of trees that actually capture electromagnetic frequency wavelengths. Many plants that you could order and easily sustain. My aunt has one, and there's a huge difference from when she uses, because she has a generator. When she uses the generator compared to when she uses the electricity, which is still electricity by the way. But there's a huge difference. You could actually see the plant interacting with the air. It's like it waves, which is really cool, but
Yeah.
it's actually sucking in EMF. Um,
Wow.
Also, cilantro is very good because it purifies the blood. But not only that, it also helps to remove toxins. And it actually, because it's a part of foliage, combats EMF inside the body. Selenium is another good method. Selenium actually cures Ebola. Senegal, you can look this up, used high concentrations of selenium to actually stop Ebola, which
Wow.
was really clever.
Yeah.
Um, Also, this is where you see many times they'll say some groups in Africa are immune to AIDS. That's because in the soil there are high concentrations of the selenium. You know, um, another remedy for EMF, because they're going to use the Ebola virus. I'm pretty sure that another remedy for EMF would be what's that? Sheridite. It's a crystal. Organite is a crystal. You could take these with Sheridite. You have to recharge it because you can actually test the charge. But Sheridite, oh, you have it.
Nah, this is Shungite. Shungite, hold up. This is like from Russia. It's
Oh, okay,
yeah, but it does some of the same stuff you talking about. It's
okay,
a black rock, like I think it's a meteorite. I'm not sure. But it's yeah, it has a lot of the same qualities you were just describing though.
yes, yes. Organite helps. Also, people, if you have iPhones, be really careful with iPhones. Um, I call them infertility phones because I heard it from somewhere else, but it makes sense. Because actually, the Wi-Fi transmitter on the back of it actually sends the waves downwards to attack the reproductive system, which would sterilize people. In fact, Bill Gates was actually running an operation where he was having men from Africa get their testicles blasted with sound waves, which would make them sterile.
Yeah,
Um, be very weary of even non-GMO foods because just because it says non-GMO doesn't mean it's without GMOs. There's just a threshold for it.
yeah,
There's a certain amount you can only allow. Um, Also, be very careful about nickel, wearing earrings and stuff like that. Be very careful with headphones, earphones, all that stuff. If you're around cell towers one day, um, I would like for you to try to just put some aluminum foil on your head because
oh man, you're gonna have people out here getting checked. They're gonna be getting robbed. Nah, go ahead.
but if you just put it on your head, just like as you pass it,
Yeah,
you wouldn't even recognize the difference at first because you're not doing it. But when you do it, you would recognize a clear difference. You would recognize it. You would recognize, wow, I was just being radiated because it would almost be like a huge slowdown
mhm.
when you do it. Also, what I would say about the tinfoil thing, when people say he's wearing a tinfoil hat, I just really take that as he's not under mind control
Yeah, yeah,
because
sure.
the EMF isn't penetrating his neurons and controlling him. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, no,
that.
I'm not trying to make light of it. You know that like
Yeah, I know.
there's practical ways that people could do it, and like just like how just what we're doing like here. There's several things that you could do, to protect yourself. And a lot of the things that you mentioned is just like getting back in touch with nature. You know, when you
Yeah.
were saying like putting the aluminum in your shoe, you know, there's this thing called sun gazing where people, you know, you can just sun gaze and just walk barefoot, you know, and eventually you won't have to eat. You know, you're just getting your
Yeah.
sustenance directly from the sun. And in doing things like that, you're getting supercharged. You know, it builds up your immunity to all types of attacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's wild because pretty much everything we need is right here.
Yes.
Right. So it's not
Yes.
just one way to go about it. You know, there's several things that everybody can apply this you know, whatever's practical for you. You know. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise you to go out with the aluminum on you.
No, 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 don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you can kind of cover it up, don't do that. But like I was saying earlier, if you have like a skull cap, you could take some aluminum foil and put it in the flap, you know, so it'll be easily hidden. You know, so you won't be around here looking like a goofball, you know, you trying to tell people something. Like, man, what's wrong with you? You're wearing aluminum foil, yeah, man, I'm not listening to you, you know. But yeah, guys, I'm short on time. I apologize. I should have been much more organized in this. But I will be for later. We speak later time we speak. But I really want to thank you for this. I'll send you in your email PDFs that we were discussing on today, and some more that I can remember. Because, like I said, I broke my flash drive. Um, but I'll send you the PDFs, a lot of them, so be prepared. Um, and I'll allow you to analyze them. Are you talking? I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Now maybe we could coordinate that. I could just put the PDFs up, like the links to them on the moorsinamerica.com website, you know, and we could just put that in there so people can
Still
go.
can't hear you, brother.
Oh, sorry about that. You got? Can y'all hear me? No, y'all can't hear me. Oh man, hang on a second. Let me get this. All right, can you hear me now? Are we good? Are we good? Can you hear me? No? Audio out. What's up, chat? Can y'all hear me? All right, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So I guess the audio's out. We're about to go ahead and shut things down. I appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Brother, we'll have to talk again. Someone is messing with my laptop. I can't hear you. I haven't heard you for the past 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Now, I was thinking it was something on my end. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah. Can you hear me now? All right. So we having technical difficulties. We just going to run this back probably in a week. Okay. So, yeah, everybody, if you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. And tomorrow, the author Peter Moon, author of the Montauk Book of the Dead, actually have that book downstairs. Don't have it right here with me. So this is going to be very interesting, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Make sure you share this. Click the like button. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Islam to all the Moors out there. Peace.